Clap in your hand if you have a pet. Clap if you love your pet. Clap if you have ever been violent to a pet. I see the last issue and it's time to decide, but come on guys, just fancy it's 6 a.m. and you want to sleep, but that annoying creature wants to eat or to play with you. Do you really mean to say that you have never thrown anything into your pet? Well, alright, let's think that I believe you. Probably you have never thought that there are 3 types of violence against animals. My dad is a vet and most of my free time I spend in the village, so I have a lot of contacts with animals. I really love them and I care about their future. I do believe that as a human, it's my obligation to care about them. Every day we hear, be a human, even more often than we eat. But what does it mean to be a human? Ancient Greek considered people the most perfect and complete creations of nature. Well, they were right, as it took 1,000 years for evolution to create us. We have consciousness, which differs us from animals, but some people misunderstand this idea. There are 2 extremes. The first is when people are like, oh, I'm too intelligent to think about that. My life has been given to me just to think and stay alive, so why should I be worried about this stuff? Why should I be worried about this stuff? And the second is, we are like animals since we have animals' instincts. And no, we shouldn't stick to the golden mean because none of such ways has the main point. That's responsibility. Every change in evolution has some reasons, so we have to protect this world. An average citizen or someone with unlimited abilities should be responsible for every decision made. There is a quote in Marvel, "With great power comes great responsibility." And that's what I believe in. Each society unites people, but a responsible society unites responsible personalities. But it's not enough. Dignity comes the second. Immanuel Kant talked a lot about it. In the ability to choose morally, wisely, and to act according to this choice, a person affirms his or her human dignity, he used to say. I guess he would accept Wikipedia's definition. Dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for his or her own sake and to be treated ethically. Does everyone treat himself with a dignity? We are born with the ability to have these values, but we need to acquire and learn them. And this problem is similar to the 3rd type of violence against animals. People ruin everything around, do much harm, especially to wildlife. One day, an elephant or a zebra can just walk around in savannah, eat some grass, and tomorrow they are plucked up by poachers and perform in zoo or circus as means of entertaining people. Alligators in small aquariums, snakes in baths, lions in aviaries, eagles in cages, circuses and their training. This is truly violence. We live in animals' kingdom, not they in our. Some countries refuse from circuses. Some are using zoos as a way to protect endangered animals, but it shouldn't be just some countries. It must be in a whole world. People are using technologies more and more. We claim that we aim to achieve success in animals' protection and extinct species security, but on the other hand, bigger troubles appear. The more technologically developed our worlds become, the more risky it is for animals to coexist with humans. Recycling the rubbish and using alternative sources are not that much productive. Our previous generations have forgotten about responsibility for animals and nature, and so have we. I wonder what will be left for our next generations. The next idea can be painful for somebody, but I need to talk about that. Every second, 10,000 of animals die because of people. It seems as if nothing can stop it. I'm from Ukraine, and for my culture, it's uncommon to eat cats' or dogs' meat, but it's quite normal to consume beef and pork. Nations worldwide differ. Some of them are meat eaters, others are not. As for me, I'm a vegetarian. My decision could sound strange as I'm a teen who need a balanced diet, but it's my way to help the world of animals, at least slightly. I consider it virtuous to kill animals for food in the times of 3D food printers and artificial meat technologies. Look, lions, for example, need to hunt for their prey. But we, people, need just to go to the supermarket to get meat from numerous farms and slaughterhouses. It's looked like a perfectly designed serial murder. Isn't it violence? I often hear that we can't survive without meat, and this is stuff. No, we can. A lot of nutritionists say that we can completely replace meat with legumes without damaging our health. Believe me, it tastes the same. Everything is in our mind, and responsibility should come first. Animals farm need much more sources than plant fields. I mean, it's more ecological, so becoming a vegetarian can help the world of animals to stop violence against them. So why not to try different meat-free nutritions? It might be even exciting. And the first one, the main problem and the most dangerous type, because it's not in general, but individual. I have some experience in this area. In my aunt's village, there is a warehouse, and last year one man decided that he doesn't need his dogs anymore. And what did he do? He put them all in one big bag, tied a rope on it, and started a big bag with dogs inside. So what's the point? Everybody knew. Everyone knew where he lives, where he goes, on holiday, when he works, but everyone did nothing. Well, one of the dogs died, the second went blind, and the third still got that warehouse. When I found it out, I could hardly believe it. All in a beaten state, indifferent. Being drunk, the man became aggressive and always warned the dogs about killing them. If people who heard those threats called the police at time, the dogs would have been healthy and at least alive. That's the point. Everything can be prevented, so the worst thing is to stay inactive. All in all, both animals and nature suffer from us. We are killing wildlife and animals for food. We are violent to everything around, and we are fully aware of it. We have forgotten that we are humans, omnipotent creatures, and we are responsible for our little brothers. And we know it quite well. But no one feels guilty. Some scientists say that only 300 years are left for us to exist. Others are sure that 2,000 years are ahead, but I'm here to say you, it matters much more how we live this time. With love and respect to our pets and endangered animals, with awareness of what we do and eat, will we remain indifferent and inactive, or on the opposite, generous and kind-hearted? These ideas are so exempt and simple to follow. I just wanted to remind everyone who we are and how our actions influence everything on Earth, especially animals' world. That's my point. Thank you for listening.